Fantastic coffee. Oh yeah, of course, always. Anyway, what's happening, tribe? Hope you guys are having a fantastic week. I hope that it's beautiful where you are today. It's a little overcast here today, but I'm hoping the sun is going to come out. I'm holding out hope, but it actually does feel good out here. It's nice and cool and relaxing actually, and I actually have a little time this morning to spend some time with you guys to get this video off to you guys. And what I want to talk about today is why recovery is actually a skill. And I've been all over this lately with you guys, talking about the nervous system and talking about how important it is to listen to our body signals so that we can stay in balance. And we're really talking about our autonomic nervous system being able to stay in well, a lot of us are spending a lot of time in fight or flight mode. And fight or flight mode is great. It makes us feel good. That's action mode. That's cortisol, adrenaline. That's production. And those hormones make us feel really good. As a matter of fact, cortisol and adrenaline, cortisol specifically, is kind of getting a bad rap, but it's a necessary hormone. It makes us feel fantastic. The problem is a lot of us are just making way too much of it at the expense of our repair hormones. And remember, it's a yin and yang game. If you're making too much adrenaline and cortisol and spending too much time on one branch of your nervous system, the sympathetic, and you're not getting over to the parasympathetic branch of your nervous system, then other things are going to struggle, like your breathing and your digestion, and a lot of things that run on that side of the nervous system, like your ability to produce melatonin, testosterone, and estrogen, and things like that. Hormonal balance is key there. So we've got to make sure we're balancing our nervous system, listening to our body signals, so we're staying in hormonal balance, and that way we feel good. That way we can, and if we're paying attention, we can perform at a high level, but also know when to pull back when we need to, all right? So what I notice is a lot of people are, I like to literally train, like I said, treat recovery, like a skill. It's not just this passive thing that happens naturally when you're sitting down or when you're in between, when you're in transition. It is literally something you need to focus on and check certain boxes every day. So I see a lot of people in general, like I said, putting that effort in, that training, that discipline, all that's there, and that's critically important. Trust me, I'm all about the effort, all about the adrenaline, the discipline. But the regulation, the recovery, the adaptation has to happen, or you're not going to get that next level. Things that you have to fully recover each time, or that next day you go out there, that deficit starts to summate. As a matter of fact, all of our stressors summate. Your body doesn't know the difference between a high intensity workout and a high intensity argument. All stress summates in the hypothalamus and ratchets up the stressometer. And when the stressometer is in the red, things are usually going to go wrong. Your body's going to be screaming at you. The pain teacher is probably going to pay you a visit, and that's not too much fun. So if we're paying attention, being mindful, and treating recovery like a skill, it really, really beneficial. I can't tell you how much it helped me. And remember, I've told you this, guys, I'm an adrenal fatigue sufferer from back in the day. I still occasionally will have little issues with that, but that's just because I'm super tightly wound, as you guys can tell. Even before I shoot these videos, I really have to try to calm myself down because I get a little excited and I've got a lot of information I want to share. And I've got to really stay relaxed or I have a hard time with that. I start bouncing around too much, I start digressing, and I start getting a little spread out when I'm trying to make just some basic points. So right now, as I'm getting a little fired up, just taking a nice deep diaphragmatic breath and relaxing my nervous system for a second, and so I can move on. Anyway, yeah, like I was saying, recovery is actually part of the work. And it's not just this passive thing, it's something we intentionally have to do to check those boxes, to make sure we're getting that sleep, to make sure we're hydrated, to make sure that we are just checking the basic boxes and making sure we're doing simple things like walking, not just training, going out for a nice relaxing walk, focusing on a detoxification, getting those contrast showers in. I mentioned that in my last newsletter. Now, if you're all into the ice and heat, good for you. But if you're new to that game, it's a really good way to help manage intense situations. Just take your normal warm shower, and then when you're done, go cold. Start with like 15 seconds at first, and then start building up I like to do at least 60 seconds of cold after a warm shower, and sometimes I'll do a few rounds. Like I'll go a minute cold, I'll do another minute warm, and then I'll do another minute cold. Now I tend to shower in the morning, so I always finish cold. If you're an evening shower, I actually recommend finishing warm. So maybe go warm, cold, warm at the end, so you're not stimulating yourself too much before bed. In the morning, you definitely want stimulation. But the main thing too is when you're feeling that cold and that's when you want to go to your breath, and you're trying to adapt to that intense situation with your breathing. And I also want you guys to be doing that during the day when you're in intense situations. Catch yourself drifting into a mouth breathing pattern, and slow it down and just keep being mindful. The other thing I wanted to talk about is transition times during the day. Those are really key times to pause, take a breath, and then go into the next phase of your day, whatever it be, or maybe even between exercises when you're training. Just finish a set of kettlebell swings. I'm going right to my breath, transition time, before I go to my next set so I can recover and have a better set. So either in the moment or at the end of the day, we're always looking to recover. It's a yin and yang hormone game we're playing, guys. So it's critically important to remember that. And let's see if there's any other little notes I wanted to add. And also spending time in nature. Again, if you're inside all the time, spend some time outside. If you're pushing hard all the time, make sure you're getting some recovery. If you tend to be a little too lacking output, then you need to push a little harder. Remember, it's all yin and yang. It's all creating balance and just making sure that your output and your recovery are matching up. And let's see what else, guys. I'm pretty sure that's it. But that's it. If you want sustainable performance, you need to train your ability to recover. All right, guys? I go a lot deeper into this, that's right, issue number 2 out, Whole Health Monthly. It is out. I'm going to put the link below in the pinned in the comments. I would love some feedback on that. And if you didn't check out the first issue, please do. It's in a previous video, also in the comments, probably in my last 4 or 5 videos. Definitely check those out also. And with that said, guys, have a fantastic week. Please like, share, and subscribe. None of this is medical information. This is just my opinion, sharing my experiences with you as a coach for 35 years. And yeah, all right, guys, much love. Have a fantastic week. Until next time.